The date is November 21st, 2025. The world of work looks profoundly different than it did just 3 years ago. The arrival of large language models initially felt like a clever upgrade to familiar tools. We saw them as advanced chatbots, useful for drafting an email or summarizing a document. An analyst might have asked an early AI to write a few lines of code. The human was the director, and the AI was the typist, executing one small, discrete instruction at a time. This was a useful but limited partnership. The human brain was still responsible for all the planning, the strategy, and the multi-step execution required for complex tasks. Today, that model is rapidly becoming obsolete. We are witnessing a fundamental shift from simple, reactive AI to something far more capable. Imagine a junior analyst named Maria. Her manager asks for a competitive analysis of a new market. A few years ago, this would have meant weeks of manual research. Today, Maria turns to her AI counterpart. She does not give it a series of small prompts. She gives it a single high-level goal. Analyze the top 3 competitors in the European electric vehicle charging market, focusing on their pricing models, market share, and customer reviews from the last 12 months. Synthesize the findings into a slide deck. The AI now acts not as a typist, but as a project manager. It begins by formulating a plan. It breaks the goal into subtasks. Identify the top competitors, find reliable data sources for market share, scrape customer review websites, and structure a presentation. It autonomously browses the web, accesses subscribed industry databases, and runs scripts to analyze unstructured text from reviews. It encounters an ambiguity, 2 companies with similar names. Instead of guessing, it pauses and queries Maria for clarification. It works tirelessly, assembling the data, generating charts, and drafting slides. Maria's role has evolved. She is no longer a researcher. She is a director, a strategist, and a final quality check. This transition marks a new chapter in the digital transformation of labor. We are moving beyond AI as a simple tool for task automation. We are entering the era of AI as a managed partner, a digital colleague capable of undertaking complex projects with a degree of autonomy. This is not science fiction. It is the new reality unfolding in forward-thinking organizations. The core challenge is no longer about fixing AI's occasional errors. It is about learning how to direct its powerful capabilities effectively, safely, and for the betterment of human work. The question for every leader is how to architect this new division of labor. To understand this new landscape, we must first define agentic AI in plain terms. An agentic AI is a system that can pursue a goal by creating and executing a sequence of steps without constant human supervision. Unlike a simple chatbot that waits for the next command, an agent can reason about a problem, formulate a multi-step plan, use various tools to carry out that plan. It can access software applications, browse the internet, write and execute its own code, analyze its own performance to correct its course. It works more like an intern or a junior teammate than a calculator. It can also be programmed with rules that compel it to stop and ask a human for approval at critical junctures. Early adoption patterns are emerging in knowledge-intensive sectors. Technology companies are naturally at the forefront, using agentic AI to accelerate software development, testing, debugging. In finance, firms are deploying agents to conduct market research, analyze financial statements, monitor portfolios for anomalies. Consulting firms are using these systems to rapidly synthesize vast amounts of industry data, freeing up human consultants to focus on client relationships and strategic insights. The common thread is work that is data-rich, digitally native, follows a logical, if complex, process. These fields provide the ideal training ground for the first generation of AI agents. The technology is advancing at a blistering pace. Companies like Google, Anthropic, and numerous well-funded startups have demonstrated systems that can successfully complete complex professional tasks. In one demonstration, an AI was given access to a codebase, and asked to fix a bug described in plain English, it located the flawed code, wrote a patch, tested it, and submitted the fix. In another, an AI planned an entire marketing campaign, identifying the target audience, drafting ad copy, suggesting a budget allocation. These are not merely productivity enhancements. They are reconfigurations of entire workflows pointing toward a future where human expertise is amplified, not replaced. The evidence on AI's impact on productivity is both promising and complex. Numerous studies confirm AI can accelerate work. One controlled experiment at Boston Consulting Group found consultants using AI were 40% faster and produced higher quality outputs on creative innovation tasks. Another landmark study with software developers showed a 55% speed increase in coding tasks when assisted by an AI tool. These gains are not trivial. They represent a substantial boost in operational efficiency. The primary benefits appear in tasks that are well-defined, repetitive, require synthesizing large volumes of information, and AI can execute these with superhuman speed and endurance. However, results are not uniformly positive, creating a modern productivity paradox. For highly creative problems, novel problems, judgment-heavy problems, AI's contribution is less pronounced. In some cases, it can subtly degrade performance. Experts may be slowed down because they must check the AI's work for nuanced errors a novice might miss. AI can generate plausible-sounding but factually incorrect information, a phenomenon known as hallucination, which requires careful human oversight to detect and correct. The impact on the workforce is deeply personal and psychological. On one hand, these tools can boost job satisfaction by eliminating tedious work. By automating the drudgery of data entry, report generation, routine coding, AI can free employees to focus on more engaging, strategic, creative challenges. This can reduce burnout and let people spend more time on what they find meaningful. On the other hand, the same technology can cause significant anxiety. Employees may worry about job security and obsolescence. The feeling of mastery and competence can be undermined if an AI partner consistently outperforms a human. This is especially critical for junior employees who learn by doing routine tasks now automated. If a young analyst no longer builds a financial model from scratch, how will they develop the deep understanding to become a senior leader? To navigate this complex new reality, organizations cannot simply deploy AI and hope for the best. They must proactively design a new operating model that treats AI as a managed partner. This requires building clear frameworks and guardrails. The first step is systematic task mapping. Leaders must analyze existing workflows and categorize tasks based on their suitability for AI. A simple rubric can be used to score tasks based on level of routine, data requirements, risk associated with an error. Low-risk, highly repetitive tasks are prime candidates for full automation. High-risk, judgment-based decisions should remain firmly in human hands. Once tasks are mapped, establish clear rules of authority. Just as with a human team, an AI agent needs a defined scope of action. Companies should create a tiered system of permissions. For low-stakes activities, summarizing public articles, scheduling internal meetings, the AI can be granted full autonomy. For medium-stakes tasks, drafting a client-facing report, running a financial analysis, the AI can be the primary drafter, but a human must give final sign-off. For high-stakes decisions, approving a major expenditure, altering a core system, the AI's role should be purely advisory. Third, robust quality assurance mechanisms are non-negotiable. The output of an AI agent should never be treated as infallible. Implement checks and balances. Conduct random audits of AI-generated work to spot-check for accuracy and bias. For critical processes, use a dual-check system. A human expert performs independent verification. Maintain detailed logs of AI actions and errors. When a mistake is found, treat it as a learning opportunity to refine. The AI's instructions, data sources, operational rules. Finally, roles and job descriptions must evolve. Shift focus from tasks performed to outcomes achieved. A report writer might become an insight specialist, interpreting the data, shaping the narrative, communicating strategic implications to stakeholders. The AI drafts the report, but the human provides the wisdom. This reframing preserves the value and dignity of human work. It positions employees as leaders, strategists, relationship builders, leveraging human skills like empathy, ethical judgment, complex problem solving in a world powered by machine intelligence. Governing this new hybrid workforce requires a dedicated and cross-functional effort. A crucial first step is to establish an AI council or steering committee. Representatives from technology, legal, human resources, key business units. Its mandate: set enterprise-wide policies for AI use, review high-impact deployment proposals, adapt the company's strategy as the technology evolves. This centralized body ensures a consistent and responsible approach, preventing a chaotic free-for-all. Governance also means managing access. Firewall sensitive data and critical systems from AI agents until reliability is proven. Investment in human capital is as important as investment in technology. Prioritize AI literacy for all employees. Training should go beyond basic prompting. Teach workers to critically evaluate AI output, spot subtle biases and errors, and structure problems for AI to solve. Preserve learning pathways for junior talent. Rotate them through tasks, use simulations to build foundational skills. Be incremental and evidence-based. Resist Big Bang AI transformations. Start with well-defined pilots in high-volume, low-risk areas. The goal: measure productivity and learn. Keep detailed records of what works and what doesn't. Create feedback loops for the next phase. Track total cost of ownership, software licenses, training hours, governance overhead. Scale AI initiatives intelligently and sustainably. In conclusion, Agentic AI is an opportunity to be directed. The path for leaders is clear and actionable. First, map tasks to find initial use cases for AI agents. Second, set rules for authority and escalation. Third, invest in training for AI collaboration and human judgment. Fourth, implement audits and quality checks. Finally, govern the transition with a dedicated council and a risk-aware, pilot-based approach. AI is reshaping our world. Make it a managed partner to build more productive, innovative, and human organizations.